To understand your voice, we've got to go back to the brain, to this simple concept from cognitive psychology, which is called chunking, which is basically this. Our brains like information in chunks. And therefore, what are the chunks of language? Well, they are phrases. When we talk, we put words together into phrases. So that's going to be our basic unit, our basic chunk. So there are 3 mantras of speaking that I'm going to ask you to say after me, so you'll be prepped to do it tomorrow. And the 3 mantras of speaking begin by how do we control the pace at which we're talking by this simple concept. Even if you're a fast talker, my belief is talking about this as fast or slow, you're going too fast, I want you to go slow, is not very helpful because, okay, I was told to go slow. Let me try it. Good evening. My name is Brian. Don't do that. Well, what do you mean don't? You said go slow. Well, I didn't mean that. Well, wasn't that slow? Well, yeah, but now you sound slow. Oh, well, what do you mean by slow? Slow and fast don't help. Here's the instruction. Speak in phrases, not whole sentences. If you want to be articulate, speak in phrases or chunks, not whole sentences. Listen to it again, then say it after me. If you want to be articulate, speak in phrases, not whole sentences. Say that in 3 chunks. Here we go. If you want to be articulate, speak in phrases, not whole sentences. So let's imagine that you're a really fast talker, like I'm talking now. You're someone on the East Coast who talks really fast. My belief is that we can't say to you talk slow. That's like saying have a personality transplant when you're in the courtroom. You can't do that. But think about how fast I'm talking. Right now as I'm talking really fast. But in between those bursts of talking, I'm giving you a little chance to catch up. And me a chance to conceive of what's next. So that's what works. But here's a way to make it really concrete. We speak in phrases when we speak together. Say with me just the first sentence of the Pledge of Allegiance, because we're all going to do it the same way. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Now we're going to turn that into this instruction. So that's the rhythm I can use to control the pace that I'm speaking. Say that. So that's the rhythm I can use to control the pace that I'm speaking. So when you stand up tomorrow, don't say, well, I was right slow at the top of my notes. Not slow. Speak in phrases. Then, to make it persuasive and meaningful, emphasis is what makes it meaningful. The easiest way to talk about emphasis is to say, let's get rid of it. May it please the court, Your Honor, I'm going to speak to you in that dreaded monotone with no emphasis. Basically, every word that I'm saying is of equal weight with every other word. And it's impossible to persuade people because the highlighted words that need to be emphasized don't get it. So mantra number 2 is this. In every phrase, at least one word gets emphasized. Say that. In every phrase, at least one word gets emphasized. So tomorrow when you listen to your video, you got to ask yourself this question. Did I emphasize any word in that question? Any word? Or did I say it? Because when there's no emphasis, there's no meaning. So you've got to add emphasis. And we can then take it to the next level and say, when we are being more persuasive, more emphatic, many more words are emphasized when we are speaking persuasively. And if I'm talking to you like this with no words being emphasized, obviously I'm skating along on stuff that's not that important. I don't care if you think about this, but if I want you to think about this important fact or this important question, I add much more emphasis. So the baseline is at least one word gets emphasized. And sometimes many more if you are especially arguing or asking really good, tough leading questions. So we got 2 mantras going. Speak in phrases, and we'll emphasize key words. Say those 2 things. Speak in phrases, emphasize key words. Now we have to add one more thing, and that is audible punctuating. We all have a remarkable understanding of the music of inflection without ever thinking about it. It's like we all understand gestures, but we don't know it. And by that I mean this. We all understand that there are certain musical inflections of our voices that have meaning as to punctuating. Huh? Huh? Everyone make that noise. Huh? Now we all know that that has one meaning, doesn't it? Do it again. Huh? And isn't that a different meaning than this? Huh? Do that noise. Huh? So I'll do the first noise. Huh? And we all know that. And what does this noise mean? Huh? Huh? Well, isn't that kind of the exclamation of, wow, huh? 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 So we all know that. It's like, I've never thought about that, but that's true. So we could say, when it comes to speaking authoritatively, We don't want the rising inflection. Because that sounds like I'm not sure. Think if I stood up and said, good evening, my name is Brian Johnson, and I'm an expert in how to be a good speaker, I think. Because it all sounds like a question. And there's kind of a pandemic of that going on in this world. And so you got to get rid of that if you hear that on the video. And here's the way to do it. We don't have time to talk about all the punctuating, but here's the sound that's most important. Here's the sound that is most important. That's the sound of the period when we go down, or what I would call walk down the steps. Do with me, because we're all going to do it exactly the same way, the final phrase of the Pledge of Allegiance, with liberty and justice for all, and listen to your own voice. Listen to what we're about to do. Here we go. With liberty and justice for all. Now nobody went with liberty and justice for all? Is it a question? No. With liberty and justice for all. I call that walking down the steps. We are descending to a lower pitch. Every newscaster signs off how? Brian Johnson, ABC News, Philadelphia. And they always go down. They never go, Philadelphia? Is that where I am? So here are the three mantras of speaking. Say them with me, but listen first. Speak in phrases, emphasize key words, and walk down the steps. Say that. Speak in phrases, emphasize key words, and walk down the steps.